Somebody ought to testify. Hey, it's Testimony Tuesday, and I mentioned on these Tuesdays, my hope is that it's not just going to be my testimony that you hear on a Tuesday, but it's going to be other people's testimonies. And so I hope to start that here, hopefully next week. But I do want to share someone else's kind of testimony that they are not available to share anymore. So a great church member that we have named Celia, her son passed away on Monday. Larry was his name, and just please be in prayer for Celia and her family right now. And I will probably share this story at the funeral, but I wanted to share it today just because I thought of what a powerful witness it was. So I think it was a couple months ago, Larry was in the hospital, and maybe it's been more than that. It's been maybe a few months. He was in the hospital, and I went to visit him in the hospital. And when I went to visit him, he was finishing up some physical therapy. I saw him walking down the hallway with the people that were helping him do physical therapy. And then he got to his room. And so I was coming from behind and saw him going to his room. And I was thinking, I'll just let him get settled and then I'll go in there and visit with him. So I just kind of waited outside the door until they kind of got him settled in and the nurses came out of there and I could go visit with him. Anyways, he walks in the room, comes back from physical therapy. Then I hear him proceed to start talking to these nurses about Jesus. And he starts talking to them about his faith, and he starts sharing with them about Jesus. And it went on for a good while. I was waiting out in the hallway patiently, just kind of waiting, saying, I'm not going to go in just yet. I'm going to wait till he's done talking with them. I don't want to interrupt the conversation. And then he just kept talking to them about Jesus and about his faith. And it got to a point where I was looking at the clock going, I don't know that I have time to still do this visit, but something great is going on in this room and I do not want to interrupt it. And so I was so excited in that moment that Larry was sharing his faith. And I called Celia, I called his mom, and I said, hey, I went and I tried to visit with Larry in the hospital, but he was busy talking, and he was talking to people about his faith. It was good. He was sharing about his faith. He was telling people about Jesus. And I was just so excited in that moment that even though the visitation did not happen in that moment, that Larry was telling people about Jesus. And what an amazing thing in the hospital to be telling your nurses, to be telling the physical therapists that are working with you about the faith that you have and about the Lord and Savior that you love. And that's what Larry was doing. So I want to just share that testimony today that Larry is no longer able to share, but I wanted to share what an awesome testimony of the Lord that I can brag on him that he was sharing his faith in the hospital as he's doing rehab. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.